you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. So a lot of you have seen me hanging around the Toastmasters Club for the past few weeks, initially as a guest and later as a member. And you might have been wondering, who is this person? Why is he here? Where is he from? What does he want? And today I will deliver to you my icebreaker speech, and I will give you some of those answers to those questions. But before I start, I have a question for you. So who was born outside of Canada? Yeah. Who was born outside of British Columbia? So this is what I find so interesting about Canadians. So many people have different roots, are from abroad, moved to Canada, moved to Vancouver, and they truly want to be here. I think that's what connects all the Canadians. You know, they had to give up things, they had to put in effort, and they're here and they're happy to be here. And why do I tell you this? Because as I was thinking about this speech and what to talk about, I realized that the same applies to me. Coming to Canada was a big thing in my life, and I'm really happy to be here. So I will tell you my story when I came to Canada. And you have similar stories, as we could just see from the hands. And as I tell my story, I want you to, hopefully I can inspire you again about the reasons you came and have the same exciting feelings when you came over. So my background, as Iman just introduced, I'm from the Netherlands originally. And I was born in a small village in the south, very close to a big consumer electronics company called Philips. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's the European counterpart of Sony. And the way when you grow up there, the way what happens is you want to work for that company. So you go to school, go to university, go work there for 35 years, and then you retire. So I was on track, and a lot of people do that, trust me. So I was on the same track, went to university, and then I started to realize that I started more interested in the outdoors. And what Dutch people do is, there's no outdoors in Holland, so they start to travel. Let me show you a little bit about the great outdoors in Holland. So Holland you think is flat. Holland is not flat. See, there is the high point in Holland, St. Petersburg. So it's quite a climb. It will probably take you 30 minutes. I've never climbed it. I guess it was not inspirational enough. This is how we do rock climbing in Holland. It's good to spend a Saturday like this, but does not compare to Squamish, for example. This is truly bizarre. Skiing in Holland. I've done this a couple of times. I don't recommend it. It's like a bunch of brushes turned upside down, and it hurts a lot when you fall. And this is how we play hockey in Holland. So that explains why there's no Dutch players in the NHL. So as I was traveling, you know, you go abroad to do these things. You go away, you travel for a week, you go climbing, but then you come back to Holland. So what really changed my life is when I started living abroad, not just traveling abroad, living abroad, which is so different. So at the end of my university, I had the opportunity to live in Turkey for 4 months. And that's when I realized, you know, you have to get a haircut, you have to make friends, you have to, well, getting a haircut, you know, they don't speak English, so it's quite a challenge. But
neither do the Dutch.
But I thought it was so inspiring. I met so many people, new culture, and it was a big change in my life for me. And then I had the opportunity to go to France. I lived in 6 months in the Alps, big mountains, you know, big skiing, big hikes, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Living abroad is just such a fantastic experience. And then lastly, I lived in Belgium for 1 year in Antwerp. So then I realized I want to go abroad. I need to go abroad. Where do I go? So then my girlfriend started to inspire me, or coach me. She had been in Canada. So like tonight there's a documentary about Whistler. I'm like, Whistler, I never heard of that. What is that? Oh, wow, ski. Wow, that's awesome. Next week read the newspaper. There's a story about a hike on the West Coast Trail. Now that sounds like a very interesting place. So I tried to move there and looking for a job. Luckily for me, there are many entrepreneurs in Vancouver. And I found an entrepreneur who saw an opportunity in me. in true spirit, we had a quick call with a customer. The deal is sealed, come over right away. Well, that's not the way things are done in Holland. It has to be slow, methodical. We're not very entrepreneurial people, I would say. So what happened is my boss said, well, you can't go, you have to stay here for 2 months, this is not workable. But anyway, long story short, we were able to solve it. And I'm still very grateful for this entrepreneur who brought me to Canada. I'm so grateful that he did that. And I really appreciate that entrepreneurial spirit. So since I've done lots of things that I wanted to do. I climbed Mount Baker, did all the rock climbing, the sailing, all the things that I truly, truly like. So that was a good part of my life. Now it's on to the next part of my life. I mean, I have an interesting career, as Iman just mentioned. But I would like to become a successful entrepreneur. And I think my speech skills need to be severely improved to get to that. I want to become a coach. And I think by joining Toastmasters, I think you guys can help me get to that level. So I'm really appreciative of that. So in conclusion, I hope you got a better understanding of who I am. I certainly got to know me a little bit better as I went through this process. And I would like to thank you for your time. Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.